So one of the big things Trump has said recently was that he only wants immigrants from nice countries. And first off, I have no political opinion on this, but it's interesting because it shows you what his policy will be on travel and tourism to the United States. One of the big things is that he's very big onto controlling the flow of people, immigration into the U.S. And immigration, whether legal and illegal, both sides, he's very careful in that on restricting people from certain countries from coming in. So you can get an idea from what he said, but also his past work he's done in his previous administration between 2017 and 2021, particularly. But so that statement, we only want people from nice countries, from like Denmark and Sweden, not from countries in like the Middle East or North Africa, particularly. He does not want more people from those countries. And so, if Trump was president, what would likely happen is that we would see changes to the amount of people who can come in, whether for immigrants or non-immigrants. And for tourism in particular, what will happen is, Trump said he'll bring back the travel ban. So he restrict tourists from Muslim countries like Libya, Syria, and whatnot. They would not be allowed to enter the United States. They would not be allowed granted visas. They would not be allowed entry, and they would be restricted. So and I also think that the travel ban toward Muslims would also send a message to Muslims in general that uh, it would have a negative publicity for the U.S. when it comes to welcoming people of Muslim faith. This is no judgment; that's what the policy would happen. But another thing that's not mentioned is how what else he'll probably do is reduce staff at the State Department. So when he was president, he reduced staff at the State Department, particularly people who were processing visas, whether for tourism, whether for immigration, education. He reduced the staff there. And so what we'll see here is that we'll reduce the staff already at the State Department for countries like India, countries in general. He'll reduce the staff that will process visas. And already visa wait times are pretty high in India, Mexico, Colombia, and Brazil, a few other countries. So with less staff to help process visas and do the interviews for the applicants, people are going to wait longer, and they're going to be deterred from entering the United States, which is a part of the policy that Trump is having. So the impact you would see would be a decrease in tourism, particularly from countries like from the Middle East, North Africa. They would, or it was well potentially India and China and other countries under his administration, and so tourism would go down. I mean, would tourism from other countries go up? That's a possibility. They can make up for the loss of people from the developing world, but that would be his policy. You would see a reduction in tourism from, like I said, Middle East, India, China, Latin America. Those groups, people who can come to the U.S. who need a visa, would not be able to get here, whether through lack of processing staff, whether through just psychological, whether through long wait times, as well as to outright bans.